Well, when a baby's struggling to latch, I'm hoping you're going to get some support because it's not a fun thing to be dealing with when you're on your own. But some basic things. First of all, skin to skin. Skin to skin is really important because it awakens some of those baby's natural instincts. Also helps your hormones as well that might relax you and help with your milk transfer. And it also will mean that we won't have clothing bunched up that might be causing problems with positioning. So my baby, I'm just going to take off his attractive outfit. Unfortunately, his skin is white cotton, but you get the principle. So the other thing to mention is there aren't really hard and fast rules about breastfeeding positions that you've got to use. There are many, many different possibilities. As long as the baby is able to get a big wide gape, as long as their body's nice and close to yours, as long as they can get a little bit of a head tilt so their chin comes to the breast, as long as their mouth has the bottom lip away from the base of the nipple, the position's going to work. It doesn't have to be that everyone's got to sit bolt upright and do a cradle hold. But I'll show you a couple of positions that often do work well when babies are small and having a bit of trouble. First of all, the cross cradle hold. When we're doing the cross cradle hold, if I'm feeding from my left breast, I'm going to be supporting the baby with my right arm. I want to be able to support their weight a little bit. So I might actually, even with a very small baby, have one leg either side of my hand, so either side of my arm, or I might just have them resting on my arm a little bit. I want to be able to move the baby, obviously slightly more gently than this, because baby's going to come to me. It's really important that I'm not going to lean forward. I'm not going to push my breast in. I'm not going to offer my breast. Even just a slight twist like that, when we then start feeding and move back, that can be enough to bring the nipple into the wrong position and start to cause sore nipples. So if you're getting sore nipples, check you're not leaning forward. So we're going to do nose to nipple. Can you see how my hand is supporting the top of the baby's head and also the top of the baby's shoulders and back as well? That finger's not going to be able to do that forever. So we need to make sure that's going to get more support in a moment. But just for attaching, that's going to work. We're doing nose to nipple. We're dabbing the baby. The nipple is dabbing in this area here, just under the nose. We're not going inside the lips because then the baby's not going to gape. We're keeping the nipple here because we want the baby to tilt their head back as if they're trying to reach for the nipple. As they tilt their head back, we're bringing the chin into a really good position. We want that chin driving into the breast because that's going to give lots of good contact for the chin and lower jaw and tongue, which it needs to do the work it needs to do on the breast. So we're dabbing. We're encouraging that head tilt. So that means the hand can't be really rigid because then the baby can't tilt their head back. It's got to be a kind of gentle hold that allows the baby to tilt their head back if they want to. Nose to nipple. When the baby does gape and we see that gape, we're bringing the baby on. The baby's coming to me and lifting to me asymmetrically. That means we're trying to get as much of a mouthful below the nipple as we can. So if that's the baby's mouth, the nipple really can go quite high up just under the top lip. We're heading for the junction of the hard and soft palate with that nipple. Most of the mouthful is going to be below the nipple. And then once the baby's on, let's get that hand some extra support. So I might move my other arm round. And I might also lean back so the baby's weight goes through my body and I'm not sitting upright supporting the baby in midair. So cross cradle hold can be really useful. Other position that mums often use is the rugby hold or the football hold. Cushions sometimes are needed for this, not always for breastfeeding, but with this hold it can be useful. So with the rugby hold, the baby can sometimes be side on, or depending on your breast shape, the baby might be coming up from underneath. Either is fine, but the basic principle is almost the entire length of the baby's body is behind you. One of the things that sometimes goes wrong with the rugby hold is when the baby's too far forward, they end up curling their head round, which brings the chin away from the breast, and we don't get that really nice head tilt. So they need to be right behind. Don't worry about hands getting in the way. I know it's frustrating at the beginning because you feel like the baby's hands are kind of always in the wrong place, but that's part of their natural processes. If they can't get to the breast with their mouth or their chin, they will try and feel it with their hands, and soon they'll get the hang of getting their hands out of the way. So at this point, we want one hand. We don't want the hands to be pinned between us and pushing the baby away. We want that chest to get nice and close to allow the chin to get nice and close. So the arm is under the breast. We're dabbing again, doing that nose to nipple, and when we see the big mouthful, we're lifting the baby on. And if we need to support ourselves, there may be a cushion under that arm already. We may just bring the other arm round. Again, we could recline. Once we're on, if we recline, it should be fine, depending on what happens to the breast itself. So that's the rugby hold. If a baby's really struggling and not latching on well, obviously please do phone one of the national helplines. We'll try and get some local support.